Did you know that a billion-dollar company can collapse overnight because of a single misleading line in its financial statements? Wirecard, once celebrated as Europe's shining fintech giant, was valued at more than $20 billion. Then, regulators and auditors discovered that nearly $2 billion of its supposed cash balance didn't exist at all. In an instant, investors lost fortunes, employees lost their jobs, and Germany faced one of the largest financial scandals in its history. And the shocking truth? This wasn't a product failure. This wasn't a market failure. It was a failure of reporting. A failure that ACCA's Strategic Business Reporting exam is designed to prepare you to prevent. Now think about Kaplan, a British construction giant managing schools, hospitals, and infrastructure across the UK. Its glossy financial statements told one story: a healthy, growing, reliable company. But underneath, debt was exploding. Projects were delayed. Costs were out of control. By the time the truth surfaced, Kaplan collapsed, leaving thousands of workers jobless, pensioners devastated, and the government forced to intervene. And here's the blunt reality: if those reporting professionals, CFOs, and directors had applied the mindset you build through SBR, they would have spotted the danger signs earlier. They could have saved billions. A company doesn't collapse because it runs out of money. It collapses because it runs out of trust. That's what SBR exists to protect. Most people approach SBR like it's just another ACCA paper. Learn the standards, memorize IFRS, write it down in the exam, and hope for the best. But let me be brutally honest with you: if you're doing that, you've already failed. Strategic business reporting is not a memory test. It's not about filling your brain with rules and spitting them out. It's judgment training. It's about thinking like a CFO, communicating like a regulator, and writing like someone whose words can change the confidence of investors. If you think SBR is just about memorizing IFRS numbers, you've already lost 20 marks before the exam begins. At Education Bench, our mission isn't to help you scrape through exams. It's to help you walk into the exam room with the mindset of a financial leader. Because passing SBR is not the end goal. The goal is becoming the person employers in Tier 1 markets actually trust with billion-dollar decisions. The person who can sit in a boardroom and translate numbers into judgment. Because here's the truth: the world doesn't pay for number crunchers anymore. It pays for financial storytellers. And that's exactly what SBR trains you to be. Take Emma, a student from New York. She failed SBR on her first attempt. Why? Because she wrote brilliant technical answers, pages full of IFRS references, standards, and calculations. But she never once linked them to what mattered: investors, regulators, and stakeholders. On her second attempt, she changed her approach. She wrote her answers as if she was preparing a board pack for directors. She explained, applied, and evaluated. She scored 74. That's the difference. Or consider Ahmed in Dubai. He was convinced that examiners wanted to see long, detailed calculations. He filled his script with numbers. His result? 42. On his second try, he flipped the balance: 30% numbers, 70% analysis. He linked every calculation to stakeholders and gave recommendations. His result? 68. Same knowledge, different approach. And then there's Sarah in London. She thought she could pass SBR by memorizing the standards. The same way she passed financial reporting. She wrote flawless definitions. But she missed the point of evaluation. She missed the real-world application. 2 failed attempts. Only when she started practicing case study-style answers, planning first, identifying risks, linking to investors, did she finally cross the line with a 65. These aren't random stories. These are real examples of why SBR is about mindset, not memory. SBR doesn't test how well you remember the rules. It tests how well you protect the truth. Now let's talk about what competitors don't tell you. Everyone else talks about the exam format. Section A, Section B, time management. Yes, that matters. But that's surface level. What they skip is the deeper layer. SBR is about real corporate reporting. It's about communicating financial truth in a world where regulators, investors, and now AI are all watching. Let me give you an example. Right now, ESG reporting, environmental, social, governance, is exploding. Companies are being asked not just to report profits, but to report impact, carbon emissions, diversity, sustainability. That's strategic reporting. That's judgment. And employers are desperate for people who can handle it. AI can already write financial statements. But AI doesn't know judgment. That's your edge after SBR. Think about it. In today's world, software can generate a full set of accounts in seconds. Notes, disclosures, everything. But here's the catch. Who ensures that report complies with IFRS? Who ensures it builds trust instead of panic? Who ensures it tells the story investors need to hear? That's you. That's the human role that SBR trains you to perform. Now, the brutal reality of SBR. Students fail not because the exam is unfair, but because they underestimate it. The examiner's reports say it every year. Students copy IFRS rules without evaluating. They waste time on numbers when the marks are for judgment. They forget to plan and end up with disorganized answers. That's why we teach our students the PAIR method: point, explain, apply, recommend. Always start with a clear point. Explain the technical rule. Apply it to the case. Then recommend a course of action. That last step, recommendation, is where students either win big or lose badly. One mistake can kill 20 marks instantly. Forgetting to link your answer to stakeholders. Here's the exam game plan. Spend the first 15 minutes planning. I know it feels like wasted time, but it's your best investment. Read the case carefully. Identify the stakeholders. Highlight the risks. Once you do this, your answer becomes structured, clear, and powerful. For Section A, train your brain to handle what I call story exams. You'll be writing a narrative for nearly 2 hours. Treat it like you're explaining financial truth to the board of directors. For Section B, focus on applying standards. But avoid rote learning. Don't waste energy writing according to IAS 16, over and over. Write what it means in the context of the case. That's what earns marks. Now let's zoom out to Tier 1 markets. In the UK, corporate scandals have made judgment-based accountants invaluable. Employers don't want someone who can recite IFRS. They want someone who can say, this disclosure is technically correct, but it will destroy investor confidence. In the US, ESG reporting is booming. The SEC is demanding more transparency. And companies are scrambling to prepare sustainability disclosures. That's exactly where SBR thinking applies. In Canada and Australia, transparency-driven markets are rewarding accountants who can combine technical accuracy with communication skills. The world doesn't hire number crunchers anymore. It hires financial storytellers. And that's exactly what SBR makes you. So let's recap with blunt clarity. From Wirecard to Carillion, from AI-generated reports to ESG disclosures, strategic business reporting is not just an exam. It's your battlefield training for the corporate world. Passing SBR doesn't just give you a qualification. It gives you credibility. It gives you a mindset employers in Tier 1 markets will pay for. Because when you pass SBR, you're not just another accountant. You're a watchdog. You're the person who stands between investors and collapse. If you're serious about passing SBR the smart way and building a finance career that Tier 1 employers actually respect, subscribe right now to Education Bench. And here's something special. If you've watched this far, comment below ready for SBR and I'll share with you my exclusive case study notes. The same notes that helped Sarah, Ahmed, and Emma turn failures into passes. And let me leave you with a line you'll never forget: SBR isn't an exam. It's survival training for the boardroom. And trust me, the boardroom needs you.